October 13th, Dawnbringer, we had another day of Worlds, third day of the group stage. I just had a shower to wash this day off of myself, but I still need to talk about it because I made a commitment to do this every day. So let's talk about it. Let's start with a positive. Fnatic almost won against PSG Talon, and I want to give them credit for that. I tweeted about it, and I think it came out a little bit wrong. In people thought I was saying like Fnatic never had a chance to win that, and they definitely did, and that's what I wanted to give them credit for. It's like coming into that game, I thought, oh, this is easy PSG win. Fnatic aren't even going to put up a fight; they're going to get smashed. But Fnatic put up more than a fight. Like they were in a lot of positions in that game where it looked like, hey, they're going to win this thing, and it didn't quite work out. But I think the fact that they did that well and positioned themselves as well as they did is something that's worthy of applause. And obviously, Bean especially, he's been getting a lot of shout-outs on broadcast, and people are very kind of respectful of what he's having to go through to play in these games. How much of a challenge that is for him, and also how much of an opportunity. But nobody's kind of ragging on him or anything like that. Everybody's been very complimentary actually on the level of play he showed, and I think that's fair and appropriate. And he's doing pretty well. Kudos to him. Kudos to the team for fighting as hard as they've fought. I thought they would roll over harder than this, but of course that's not the Fnatic way. They're always going to fight. They're always going to look for plays and look for ways to win games or win situations. And I do want to say on the Bean front, to co-opt his appearance here a little bit for a small personal soapbox. I think sometimes you get when a player like him comes in and plays at least reasonably well, or even what looks like quite well. Sometimes there's the tendency for the reaction to be, and especially, I see this on broadcast and other things like, and not that they've literally said this, but in this direction. Like, hey, look, this guy's actually really good. He deserves to be an LEC. Where did he come from? They've got this hidden gem here. When I think that the real takeaway is more about, hey, look what a young player can do, a young player with potential who hasn't had a real shot yet. Put them into a lineup with some veterans, with a good coaching staff, a chance where they're really going to get pushed and have a chance to grow. And look what they can do. And they, more often than you seem to think, they can surprise you and actually turn out to be really good. And obviously not always. But this is a mindset that I think the LCS has been fighting against for a long time, that teams were very, very reluctant to take a chance on a young player who's unproven. When far more often than they seem to expect, that chance works out really well, and this player actually can, develop. You've got the most recent example in NA being Danny. You had Tactical before that. You saw what Bwipo was able to do, getting kind of thrown into Fnatic in the past. Lots and lots of these examples where the only way you discover this next generation of stars, or even just mid-level solid players, is to give these inexperienced guys a chance. And this isn't necessarily the way you want to give them that chance. But when they do have that chance, there's a higher success rate than the kind of the fearful GMs or fans or commentators or whatever often approach it with. So, and this is a big reason why I've been so intentional over the last 2 years about trying to promote the developmental scene in North America and champion these young players to get a shot. So I hope we see a lot of that, and I hope Bean is just yet another example of, hey, give them a shot, right? you could work out. On the downside, obviously, North American and European teams all did very poorly today. There were a couple of games where it seemed like we might get some wins if we look at ourselves all as one big whole now and take the word whole in a couple of different ways, I guess. I spoke yesterday about how it kind of felt so bad with Cloud9 to have them do so well in some parts and then still fail anyways, and it kind of like lifts you up, and so that when you fall, it's just a farther fall. That's exactly what I think we got out of Team Liquid today. Although not quite in the same way. They were kind of getting rolled the whole game until Genji decided to kind of throw them a bone by trying to throw them the game. And that was kind of like, you started really low with Team Liquid and then you kind of fell off. Oh, that's even worse than I thought. And then you get a jump, but it was kind of an artificial jump and purely for the purposes of dropping you back down again. It hurt. Team Liquid were not good today. And they're really, I don't know. They've still got a chance, but this was really more of a, like the thing that hurts about it more is it's not unlike the Cloud9 game where you felt Cloud9 had a really good chance here and let it slip through their fingers. Team Liquid never really felt like they had a chance here. They were handed an opportunity and they weren't able to catch it and hold on to it. And so that feels that much worse. And I think Team Liquid are one of the teams, obviously they have a win so far, and they're positioned a little bit with more of a shot to do okay in the second round robin and maybe kind of steal a spot in the quarterfinals, but not if they look anything like they did today or yesterday. So hopefully Team Liquid aren't feeling as kind of demoralized by that as I might be, or some other fans might be. And I'm sure they've got, they're all working really hard together, especially on the leadership side. I hope, Core JJ and then the coaching staff or whatever are marshaling the other players to kind of use this as motivation, not as kind of an internal letdown. And as a final note here, just checking in on map sites, because I've made a couple comments about this in the written versions. And of course I write about these things, oracleselixir.com. Day 1, the blue side of the map was 7-1. On day 2, that almost reversed. Red side was 6-2. Now we're back on day 3. The blue side was 6-2. So there's something really funny going on with the map sides, and we'll see how that plays out on the second round robin. It's just one of those little anomalies. It's kind of funny to comment on it and note, but we keep going back and forth on which map side might be OP right now. I don't remember what it was in the play-ins, but just a note, a little bit of lightness to thin the mood of a rough day. Fantasy was better today. I personally ran 3 lineups and came out at about 2.5 times what I put in. But of the 2 lineups that I recommended on Patreon, one of them worked, one of them didn't. I was kind of hedging on them a little bit. I was speculating on a Mad Lions win, and that didn't work out, but the other lineup worked. So I'll have more lineups when in a couple days when Round Robin 2 starts. And make sure you check out patreon.com/oracleselixir to join in on that. Well, that's all for now. I'm looking forward to the day off of Worlds and being able to regroup, and I hope you are too, and we'll catch you back again here soon.